what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up, this is Joyke Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? Glad you could join us. It is a Monday morning here, Baligian and Bell. I hate chairs. He is Joyke Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. It is not just any Monday, Joyke.
What is a great time to start a week? The first of the month on a Monday, and the first Monday is Black History Month Monday.
Yeah, perfect.
And so today we have a video that we're going to show to you guys later on. I think this month, me and Sean, we've been talking about this, about having some education on Black history at least once a day throughout the month of February. I think it'd be a great tribute to the giants whose shoulders we stand on. So we'll get on into that later. And you see today I have on my African wear that I got from my trips to Ghana. I used to go to Ghana with Ziggy Ansah once a year, and he had a friend there who he was an entrepreneur, and he had his own clothing line, so I wanted to support his clothing line. So he made this for me. So I had this for a couple of years. This is the first time I really had an opportunity to wear it. So that's
dope.
Yeah, it was dope. His name
that's a cool shirt.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. It was he handmade this within a matter of like a day and a half. Came through, took my measurements, left, and before I was coming back home, had it back to me. Like, it was dope. So kudos to my guy Chocolate out in Ghana.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're going to be doing that throughout the week. You're probably going to hear me complain about this every day. I feel like I was neutered sitting in a chair. I'm a hype guy, if you haven't been able to tell, and I can't get hype sitting in a chair. So we'll do that once a day, and I'll complain probably 30 times a day about sitting in a chair. But the boss wants us to sit in a chair. We have to do what the boss says.
Deal with adversity. Deal with it.
Okay.
You look good.
That doesn't mean that
you look good, Sean.
That doesn't mean that I have to like it.
Sean, you look good, Sean.
Thank you. I'm going to obey, but I don't have to like it. All right. Good morning to everybody. How you doing? Everything well? Good. Super Bowl week, but Joyke, there'll be time to talk about the Super Bowl. Initial gut reaction when you heard the trade. What was your initial gut reaction? Because it's personal for you.
Yeah, it's personal. The first thing I thought was, wow, Matthew Stafford is leaving Detroit. I didn't think I would see that so soon. And then on the other hand, the business side of things, I thought it was a great move. Now, it got me to thinking. Sean.
Mm-hmm.
What happened if this was always the plan from day one, from Brad Holmes coming from L.A. to Detroit? And them giving up these future first round draft picks and the third round draft picks, and they were okay with that because by Brad Holmes coming here, they gained some draft picks off him coming here.
I like that.
And so it might have been in the books all along. I mean, this is hypotheticals, but you have people who think that far along. Because when you're in this business, it's not checkers, it's chess. And last night, that was a win-win for both sides. And if you look at my Twitter feed, I talked about, I hope that if we do make a trade with Stafford, that it's a win-win for both sides. And it was a win-win for both sides.
What you just said, you hit the nail on. This is the long game now for the Lions. I hope people understand that this team isn't going to be good anytime soon. They just aren't. I think you probably already knew that. This was overdue. I don't like to say it. You don't like to hear it. It was time to blow this to smithereens and start to build the right way. I mean, it hurts my soul to say it, Joey. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
But it was time.
So who do you think we take in this year's draft? Do you think we take a quarterback first round?
No. I don't think it's this year. I really don't. Now, the one thing that I've been coining this, I should probably get it trademarked, is take a chance with Lance in play. Yes, it is. Take a chance with Lance is in play. But I don't think they're going to this year. I think they are going to play the long game. They have put themselves in a position because if I haven't said this before, I'm going to say it again. The Lions aren't going to be good this year. And it's by design, and that's okay. To me, that's okay. I'm serious. It's almost like we were talking, Joik, about the Pistons. The Pistons weren't going to be good this year, and that's okay. And the Red Wings weren't going to be good this year, and that's okay. It's by design. And you know what? It's funny, like Jenna just said, 2-3 years till we see what we want to see out of them. I couldn't agree with you more, and they're basically saying that now.
Yeah, but that's why they have these long-term contracts. They're going to give them 2 to 3 years to get their guys in. They're going to give Danny Campbell contracts for 5 years. Brad Holmes contracts for 6. They're going to give these guys time to rebuild or restore the roar here in Detroit. So, like I said, there's a long game. There's a long game, and sitting back and thinking about it, we're making some key moves. We truly are. I like the moves we're making at the coach position, but now it's time to see what type of players we can get in because we all know this is a player's game.
And you know what's interesting? We're gonna Scott Bischoff is coming in today, kind of an emergency conversation with him that everything that happened, because there's some interesting things he's hearing about this year's draft and next year's draft. And I'm going to let him tell you about that coming up because he brought up just a fantastic point to me. I don't want to steal his thunder. I can't stand when people, take from others. It's his point, and I'm going to let him articulate it. But, Joik, do you know the one thing that I was very, very glad to hear you not say? And this is what had me losing my mind over the weekend, okay?
What was that?
I'm going to look in the camera, and I'm going to say this as distinctly as I can. Are you ready?
Are you about to talk about Jared?
Yes.
I know you are. Why?
Jared Goff is not the quarterback of the future. Stop it. He is not a franchise quarterback. He is not the guy that is going to lead the Lions 2-3 years from now when they're good. Stop with take a chance. Stop with let's see what he's got. Jared Goff is not, capital N, capital O, capital T, the franchise quarterback. And that makes me happy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Or not say that.
Well, we understand that he's going to be he's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but going into the future, I don't think he's going to be the type of quarterback that will lead us to where we want to go in the future. Now, I think he'll be a great players coach for our next quarterback that comes in, where our next quarterback he's able to learn from. He's able to pick up on certain tips that he normally wouldn't get if he was to come in and he's a starter right from the jump. I think it's an opportunity for him to kind of come in here and, do what he can here and build his name, and he might get a job somewhere else.
Placeholder. Yeah. Placeholder. I mean, that's the way that I'm looking at it. And it's funny because
I don't disagrray with that, but I think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's a good quarterback for a crappy team because he'll help them be crappy. That's what I mean. Seriously,
he'll help them be crappy, or he'll help them to not suck as bad.
I hope they suck. I'm not even being funny to you.
I'm not gonna. As a fan, I don't want them to suck. I want to be able to see some type of competitor, like even with the Pistons.
I agree with you.
You're saying that the Pistons suck. I mean, they don't suck. They're losing games, but we see the potential.
I agree. That's a better way to put it. And I will go with what you just said.
Yeah.
I want to see them do better, but losing is going to be organic. They don't have enough pieces. They don't have enough talent. And I know at least one person disagrees with me. And
retract that statement.
I dealt with this all weekend long. Guys, I don't know what else to tell you. Here, this is the best way that I'm going to say this, okay? Jared Goff had a magical year 2 years ago. Took them to the Super Bowl. I was with you watching that Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, that day. Joik, we were up north. All right?
Yeah, we were.
Jared Goff got figured out. There's no other way to say that. And he hasn't been anywhere near the same quarterback since then. Go look at his last 2 years. Really go look at what he's done since he played in that Super Bowl against New England. I have no other way to say that. Teams, Joik, you know it, you lived it. Teams start to figure other guys out. You can get away with it for a little bit, but when you're put in positions of uncomfortability, you're going to see the numbers go from this. And Jared Goff was outstanding 2 years ago to the mediocre, mad type of years. And this is what I would say to people out there, okay?
I mean,
if Jared Goff wasn't really good with a good team, how might he fare with a bad team? Like, come on, I'm not trying to be condescending, but I mean, think about it. Take it to its logical conclusion.
Yes, I mean, we can say that. I mean, if you go back and look at his record, you look at his stats. 2018, he threw for 4,688 yards. He threw 32 TDs, 12 interceptions. 19, 4,638 yards he threw for, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions.
Got it.
And then this past year, he threw for right under 4,000, but he threw for 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
Got it.
His quarterback rating went up by 4, but it's still down 11 points from 2018. And so he is declining, but like you said, teams figuring him out. But I think last year he threw for less yards, but he had a better quarterback rating than last year. So it's not like I said, it's not a bad pickup. What we got for Matthew Stafford, I'm happy with it.
Oh, I like the haul.
I'm happy with it.
I like the haul. I'm not, listen, my gut reaction was I wish they got higher picks. That was my gut reaction. But then I sat back and said, you got 2 number 1 picks and a third for a guy that everybody knew wasn't going to be here. How do you complain? A guy wanted out, you got him out, you got him to a place he wanted to go. Yeah. And it's funny, we were talking about
he wanted to go anywhere except the Pats, so he was happy with going anywhere.
We were talking about this. I keep putting my arms on the table and everybody keeps yelling at me about it. We were talking about this last night. And Joik, I know this is personal for you, so you might throw a haymaker at me for saying this. I wish Matthew Stafford the best as a human being. I hope this is a wonderful move for he and Kelly Stafford. I couldn't care less about his success moving forward. I'll take it a step further. I hope they suck. I hope they suck horribly, because you know what? That benefits my team. That's what I care about. I care about my team as a human being, as 2 people that seem like good people. I hope this is a wonderful move for Matthew and Kelly and the family. I'm serious. But I want the Rams.
You cold-hearted.
I want the Rams to suck.
You want them to suck?
I want them to suck like suck. I want them to suck like Detroit knows suck. And we know suck here. I want the Rams to suck that badly. I would love nothing more than for the Rams.
Why is that, though? Is it because they got Matthew Stafford, or just in general? Is that for every team? Or
I want those picks, baby. I want those high picks. I want them to go 0-16 and finish dead last in the league. So that 2022 pick is mine. That's what I want.
Though? I agree. I agree to a certain extent. I want them to do terrible with Matthew having a great season.
Okay.
Yeah. I want Matthew to have
kind of like his Lions career. It was there. I'm sorry.
It was there. It was a layup. But, again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Baligian show. Happy Black History Month.
Yes, happy Black History Month.
Yeah, for real.
Now, and if there's somebody you want to talk about today, by all means, you drop some information.
You know what, though? We're going to start the day off by talking about what Black History Month means to me. What it means to me. What does it mean to you? I made a video. If Art has it, he can play it. But if you guys have a video that you guys might want to make or do to talk about what Black History Month means to you, shoot it to the Baligian Show DM on Instagram, and probably tomorrow we might be able to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that. Art,
Yeah.
do you want to play that right now? All right, we're going to do that. Joik made this video, so we're going to do that. Lots going on this morning. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us even after this video. I think it's a great message by Joik. We're going to be talking about this move a lot. Nothing personal. You ever watch The Godfather? Nothing personal. It's just business. I hope the Rams fall flat on their face. They're not going to, but I hope they fall flat on their face. Check out Joik's video.
What's up? I'm Joik Bill, and I want to share what Black History Month means to me. First and foremost, we just say Black History goes beyond Black History Month. But Black History Month to me means intentional awareness, a baked-in reminder, a gentle reminder of who we are as a people. Black History Month gives us another opportunity to share our culture, our identity, our history, even gives us a chance to empower, strengthen a disenfranchised people. Black history is a living, moving organism that's growing every single day. Black History Month was built by giants who showed fortitude in a hostile society. The same fortitude we need to have today. How do we honor these giants? By remembering them and the people who came before them. As a culture, we should remember these people every single day. As a country, remember these people during Black History Month. That's what Black history means to me. Now ask yourself a question. Aside from hip hop and fashion, what does Black history mean to you? We'd love to hear it. Make a video, drop it. Have a blessing.
It's all you, Joik.
Yeah. So that was my take. That is what Black History Month means to me. Like I said, if you we'll love for you guys to make a video, send it to our Baligian Show DM on Instagram, and we might play it for you guys throughout this month. So if you guys would like to do that, we'll love to have it. We'll love to see it. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean.
No, I'm
Appreciate
serious.
it.
Good stuff. That's it. I told you. I mean, point blank. I didn't learn a lot of stuff in school. Absolutely, I'm all for it. I'm a reader. I love to read.
Right.
So I love reading about things and hearing people talk about things like that.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys before. Some people may know this. I was in a former life. If I didn't go down this road of madness in this business, I wanted to be a history teacher. Seriously.
All right.
I love history's so important. We need to learn from history and not repeat the same mistakes.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
So, good stuff.
And so, hey, we're gonna do our part here. So,
somebody said that I was mad today. You know what I'm mad about? I'm mad about the chair, but I'm not. Like seriously, This is a good haul for the Lions. All jokes aside, this is a good haul for the Lions. I don't like the people that think that Jared Goff can be the quarterback of the future, and I've argued with way too many of them the last couple of days, and I'm kind of pulling the plug on that. But I think we can separate our fondness for Matthew Stafford and wishing him the best, Joik, and what would help the Detroit Lions most. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think that Matthew Stafford is going to go to a good team, and he is an upgrade to a good team. So I think that good team is going to become better because he's a better quarterback than Jared Goff, period. So I think that team's going to be better. And I think, being the key and operative word, I think that those picks in 2022 and 2023 are probably going to be in the mid-20s, which are still first-round picks, but there's an incredible difference in value when you're talking about that point and you're talking about, in the teens or pre-teens or whatever the case may be. Now, this is what I hope. I hope that the Rams stink. Nothing personal, just business.
Yeah.
That helps the Lions.
It does. It gives us higher draft picks, first-round draft picks, and considering that we're probably going to be bad in the next couple of years, that we're going to have high draft picks as well.
Yep.
So imagine having 2 first-round draft picks in top 10. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Ooh, I'd be so happy. That's how franchises get better. What were you and I talking about last week? People thought that the Cards and the Dolphins were going to be crap for years to come. You know how they flipped it around? They traded pieces, they traded commodities, and they got more draft picks. And the Dolphins improved to 10 wins last year, again, on an upward trajectory. They didn't make the playoffs, but an upward trajectory from disaster. The Cards nearly made the playoffs. Again, Is that good enough? No, but you're talking about an upward trajectory. And so with that being said, the logic would be if I'm a Cards fan, if I'm a Fins fan, I'm sitting back going, okay, if we did this last year and just missed the playoffs, it's time for the next step, baby. It's time for the next, and that's what I want out of the Lions. I'm totally cool with them not being good. But, Joik, you hit the nail on top of the head. Let's say Matthew Stafford isn't the difference maker, and that division keeps getting better. What if you have the 3rd pick in the draft and the 12th pick in the draft? What if, God forbid, I don't wish injury on anybody, but everybody wants to, this is something you can never use injury, but since so many people use it, I'll use it. What if he gets hurt and they're forced to go with a backup? Could you imagine having the 3rd pick and the 8th pick? I mean, that's how you change the trajectory of a franchise. So I'm not mad. Hi.
I'm not mad.
Other than the chair, I declare war on this chair. There's no way there's going to be peace. I'm never going to sign a non-aggression pact. I am going to attack this chair with the fire of 10,000 suns every opportunity I get. This chair. Is that good?
No, I like the chairs.
Gosh,
I love the chairs. You know, I think it makes us look more professional, more profound, you know, more prestigious. I don't, you know, standing up, you know, that's those Stone Age days. Yeah, we're stepping up, Sean.
Many people say I'm stuck in the Stone Age, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
Man,
good.
meat,
Now,
fire.
do you think now what happens if you have a lot of fans that are pulling for Matt? They're pulling for Stafford. They love Stafford. They even want Stafford to win the Super Bowl.
I think you're out of your mind. Are you a Stafford fan or are you a Lion fan?
It might be both.
You can be both, but I think you have to pick what's in the best interest of your team. You have to.
Now you're thinking like an owner.
I am.
Now you're thinking like an owner.
I've owned this pain and misery of being a Lion fan my entire lifetime.
So let me ask you this question: Did you love Barry?
Yes.
Do you think we did Barry right?
No.
So if Barry goes to a different team and wins the Super Bowl, are you not happy for Barry?
Well, it depends. Am I getting picks based on how Barry does? If I'm getting picks for how Barry, then I'll root for Barry all day because it has no bearing on my team.
Okay, what about Stafford in say 3 years?
After the picks are gone, best of luck to the dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
At 1,000%.
And that's
like
what
him.
they want.
I told you I like him.
And I love him.
The next 2 years, I hope they suck.
And I agree with you on that.
Good.
As far as the draft pick goes, because it's going to help benefit our franchise, our organization, our team. And I've gone from Drake Bell, the football player, to Drake Bell, the fan. And what is the best interest of our team?
Yes.
So.
Yes, and you're a Detroit Lion, and you want what's best for the Detroit Lions.
Correct.
Even though Matthew Stafford is your quarterback,
yes.
Trademark T.O.,
yes.
Even though he's a friend of yours,
yes.
You want what's best for the Lions.
Yes.
I love to hear that.
But I want to see him do well as well.
2 years from now?
No, now. But I want to see him go in there and have success now. Now, just because he has success doesn't mean that they're going to win a bunch of games. I mean, look at his career here in Detroit.
No question.
It doesn't mean that.
No question.
But
no guarantees.
There's no guarantees, but we'll see what happens.
Now, my buddy Scott Bischoff is going to come in here with an interesting perspective as to why a lot of teams feel that the 2022 draft should be valued a little bit more than 2021. And maybe that was maybe being the key operative word, maybe that was part of the reasoning for getting draft picks in the 2022 and 2023 draft. It'll make sense when he comes in and explains it. We got lots going on. Obviously, we're going to continue to get your take here on Woodward Sports. But before we head to that break, it's your turn to win big. Have you jumped in yet? I mean, my question is, why not? Everybody has jumped in. All you have to do is go to my bookie. You can take advantage of my bookie's prop builder, live in-game betting. They have everything for you. Visit their mobile-friendly website today. Get your deposit match halfway up to $1,000. That's right, halfway up to $1,000. Just use the promo code Woodward. You got to remember that. Use the promo code Woodward when you make your first deposit. They make it simple with a variety of ways to deposit instantly, including credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, and more. Doesn't matter where you are, you can make picks now. legally. And MyBookie is leading the way. Bet, win, get paid. Go to MyBookie. Remember to use the promo code Woodward to get 50% off of your first deposit matched.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking Thorogood boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Hello, I'm sitting up straight. I'm doing the show. I can't lean in and talk into the microphone. Now I'm sitting up straight. You happy? Is this what you want? It's like I got neutered. It's like somebody took a damn pair of scissors and cut my nads off. Hi, Joy.
What up, though, Sean? You know what, though? We're going to hear about this chat with Sean probably for the rest of the month, but he'll get over it, and he'll start to become more of a TV personality.
Never.
Yeah.
Why do you think I left?
Yeah.
You have to know what you are, know what your lane is. I did TV for 17 years.
Now what?
And then one day I looked at the camera and I was like, what am I doing on TV? I'm a mess.
And then what happened? You came right back because, you know what, like you picking your career, like whether you want to be radio personality, a broadcaster, or radio personality, it's kind of like a girl picking out the outfit before she goes out. She's going to pick out that first outfit. She's going to lay it on the bed. Oh, I don't want to wear that. Then she's going to pick out another 20 more outfits. She's going to run downstairs. She's going to try to find some more stuff. And after about 3 hours, 4 hours of like not being able to decide, you know what she's going to do? She's going to go back to that very first outfit. She's going to put it on. You started off with the TV personality 17 years in, and what happened? You came right back around to it.
Miserable. No, true story.
We love you here, Sean.
I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody, this is going back to like 2009, somebody talked to me about starting at the television station like in a full-time capacity, and I was like, no. And the boss was like dumbfounded at that. They were like, what? Why wouldn't you want that? I go, look at me. I'm a mess. No. You imagine me wearing a suit every day? Good afternoon, everybody. No, it's not
do it again.
me. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Having a great afternoon, Detroit? No. No. Makes you... no.
Yes. It suits
you.
You
are a stylish man. You are... No, and I'm...
No.
I better put my elbows up. You are a stylish man, okay? You can... No, seriously. You can sell that. I can't sell that.
You can't sell it. Sean, you can't sell it.
I'm so glad you can join us
Look,
on the
chest
Baligian
up.
and Bell.
Look at that posture.
I'm so glad you could join us on the Baligian and Bell show today.
And it's just about...
Along with former Detroit Lion Joik Bell, I'm Sean Baligian. What's on your mind, Detroit? Yeah!
What up, though, Detroit?
Yeah.
You know, but you know...
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
What up, Doe, Detroit? It is not just any Motivational Monday. It is a Black History Month Motivational Monday.
Yes.
Tell us your thoughts, Detroit. No.
Yeah. I think we just lost some viewers when you started doing that.
Scott goes, Sean will not get over it. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened in the 20 years I've been listening.
Hey, we're just saying, what about the
can't let
Don
things
Cherry
go.
suits?
Yeah. Yeah. Could you admit?
Put it there, bud. Hey, I tell you this.
You kids out there, this is bad. Joik Bello there, oh boy. No, you got to get Joik Bell, my guy right there. Benton Harbor in the house. Put her there, Joik, oh boy. Right? No.
Yeah. I'm going to get you in the Steve Harvey suit, Beth, like from the 2005. You know, with the big bell bottom. Are you like that one?
You gotta shave his head too.
You gotta shave
his head too. Yeah. People don't believe that you have hair.
No,
There.
You got hair.
You see that?
No.
I have lots of hair.
Do not shave your head. Don't.
No, because I've worn hats forever, and like when I first started doing stuff on Fox 2, people are like, "Dude, I just assumed you were bald." No,
he's not bald.
No.
He's just like the Woodward Sports hat. He's always rapping.
Yeah,
himself.
hey, go buy one. You can woodwardsports.com. They sell these. Go buy one.
Yeah,
all
go
right?
support.
Yeah,
go support.
Go buy a few. Buy.
Do we have the Let 'Em Play shirts out yet on the website? All right, Art.
Are they there?
I know nothing.
No
You know
idea.
nothing.
Those guys.
Good job, Art. Good job, producer.
Those guys did a great job going up there this weekend. I was in Lansing. I was with some of my buddies up there and some of the guys in the hockey community that I know. And those guys did a fantastic job. Darren McCarty was on Fox and Friends this morning talking about it. Joey and Stick were up on stage. It was awesome. Good for them. Some of us, and I hope you understand where, some of us have been fighting this fight for months now. So come one, come all. Help us in this fight, because it makes no sense. It absolutely doesn't make any sense. I think when one side is providing the science and data as to why they should play, and the other side is providing nothing, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing, there's a problem there, especially when you have taken 100,000 opportunities in the last 10 months to tell everybody you are using science and data to guide you. Open your eyes. This is not political. This is not a shot at our governor. This is reality. This is what's going on right now. And I'm a big believer in the terms with this, our political society being what it is today, and the trenches built so deep. I'm a big believer in the statement that there's none so blind as those who will not see. That's what's happening right now. You don't want to see it, because that means that somehow, some way, you are against the governor, and that's not true. I don't know how else to say that. One can still be a supporter of the governor and yet disagree with something that she does. To me, that is the epitome of being a sheep. If you are lockstep
Selective
with
seeing.
Exactly.
Selective.
If you are lockstep with somebody because that's your person, well, that is the epitome. That is the definition of sheep.
Or unconditional love. Can do no wrong.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
It's like we talked about last week. You could love a coach but disagree
Agree
with them on a
with
call.
coach.
It's okay. Both things can coexist.
Yeah.
And that's I think so many people today are just, if it comes from that side, it's got to be bad. And if it comes from that side, it's got to be, we got to stop that. Like, as a society, we got to stop that.
Yeah.
There are great ideas that are happening on both sides. And you know what? I've been down with, other than lockdown, don't get me started there. I've been down with pretty much everything that Governor Whitmer has asked. I wear a gosh damn mask everywhere I go. I think everybody else should be doing it, just out of respect to other people. But I don't know how you can tell people 100,000 times that you are using science and data to guide you through this, and then provide no science and data as to why the kids can't play. Because, as I said, and if you don't believe me, educate yourself. The MHSAA is providing science and data, documented science and data. They keep waiting to hear from the governor and from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, including, and again, fact check me here, a Freedom of Information Act that was appealed last week and was told we won't have that data for, are you ready? 3 weeks. That's all real. It's your choice whether you want to see it or not. Hi, Art. He
Hi,
races
hi,
his
Sean.
hand.
Hi, Joic.
Yeah.
Quick question for you. What do you say to the restrictions when it comes to, because it's not just sports. I mean, Scott had commented, this is the same logic as to why places will have to close at 10 because the virus can tell time now. It's just, it seems like it's just the limited capacity, I somewhat understand that, but it seems like it's just come up as, come up with what you may as you go.
You know what, though? I'm going to explain that logic to him, because it's not that it can tell time. It's just more time, so you have more opportunity. It's more of an opportunity to catch it. I mean, because we can keep it up with the 2 in the morning, right? We can keep it up with the 2 in the morning, but that's probably their logic. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it gives you more opportunity to catch it.
And
that's
I'm just playing devil's advocate right here. Like, I look at it like, people get drunk, they take their mask off, next thing you know, the virus is spreading. I get that, but it seems like with sports, the 99.8% success rate, what is going on here? Like, why can't we just let them play?
Art, what bothers me the most, and I have taken it upon myself to, what's the term? Joik, I have no problem being in the trenches. And I don't mean this condescending to Mac or Joey or Stick or anybody else. I think my place is to try to educate people, because I've been fighting this for months. Let other people go out there and talk about it. Like, okay, my voice, I've been doing this for months. Right. So I have, you go up on the stage, you hype people up, all that stuff. I've been attacking people. I don't want to say attacking. That's a wrong word.
You've been educating.
I've been engaging people. How's that?
Yeah.
And educating.
Bringing awareness.
And I think the one thing that constantly boggles my imagination is the same people that called a lot of people science deniers months ago are now the people that are just dealing in nothing more but fear. Fear over what might happen.
And so what was the purpose?
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, can you please explain that? Either you are down with the science, I am, or you're not. I mean, there's no other way to say that. So,
I have a question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
So what do you think the next step would be? Because you have the rally where people come together. Now, what would the next step be? Because that's a purpose for something.
I am really intrigued to see how she operates in the next 24 hours. I really am, because I have sources from the news side of thing that tell me that she's feeling a heck of a lot of pressure, in particular from the city of Detroit.
Is it true that you think that she went up north for is that true?
Yes.
She did.
Yeah,
she was in Charlevoix County, and she was at Boyne Mountain. Yeah. So that's what I don't understand, too. As a political leader, like, I get it. You're not subjected to work 24/7, 7 days a week. But when there's more population of people in grocery stores than restaurants, and everybody's touching the same thing, it's just, there's too much, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Someone had just commented, we can go in restaurants, but only at 25% capacity, but yet Walmart is stocked to the gills, and there's people walking up and down the hallways touching things. I mean, we've done this for a year plus now. People are exhausted. I'm exhausted. You're exhausted. Kids are exhausted. They just want to play sports.
I had a very nice conversation, and Art, I know you were privy to a lot of those conversations, with somebody who basically made the same argument that I heard 4 months ago about kids on respirators and deaths and spreading it to the community and all those things. And I said, please, instead of dealing in fear, please deal with fact and science to back you up. Because all those things that people said in the fall were going to happen, they didn't happen. None of them here. There was a 99.8% success rate. There wasn't one outbreak that was contact traced back to athletics. Not one. That's documented. I don't know what to tell you. Now, here's the thing. If there is an outbreak, pull the plug. Shut her down. If there is an outbreak, and teams had to do that in the fall. As a matter of fact, if you guys remember, there was a pause in the fall, and I think it was the right decision. There was a pause in the fall. But every argument that somebody tries to make right now isn't scientific. It's, here, are you ready? Here's another one. Close contact indoors is bad. I'm not making it up. That's an argument that I hear. Close contact indoors is bad. I don't know how scientific that is, but let's go with it.
Are they saying that because of the air circulation?
I don't know.
Is that the reason?
It's sweating on each other, tackling each other, all that stuff. Here, I don't know if you know this. Football ended a week ago.
Exactly.
And guess what?
Yeah.
It was close contact indoors. And then you know what the argument was? I'm just, these are the conversations that I've had with people. Well, there's a big difference between Ford Field and some smaller venue. Well, that would be a great point if football didn't also play in smaller venues like the Legacy Center in Brighton. And I said, if you don't believe me, there's audio of me broadcasting a playoff game from the Legacy Center in Brighton. And but again, I'll repeat the same line. There's none so blind as those who will not see. That's what we're dealing with right now. It's nope. If my side says this, that has to be right, and there's no point that you can make to get me from that. And it's frustrating, but you have to be civil. And of course, Tom brought up a great point. Can I read this? Tom, I love what you said here. This was awesome. He said, welcome to the politics today of all or nothing. I hate all or nothing, by the way. He said, if you're not for everything, you're automatically against it. Until a legit third party comes in with a chance to win, it will always be the same lame game. You are 1,000% right on all or nothing. Well, and it drives me out of my mind. No, both things can coexist. Both things have coexisted. It's okay to say, where is the accompanying backing up science that shows that this isn't safe?
And Tom also said that Tom said, "See, will magically come back with science to allow it."
We're waiting, including a Freedom of Information Act that is currently out there that was told just last week. Shout out to my buddy Tim. That was told just last week. We won't have that information for 3 weeks. Oh, fascinating.
Here's my thing. I don't think, as a parent myself, I see what my kids go through at such a young age, having tablets in front of their faces and having to do Zooms and everything like that. That sucks and it's terrible, but it's part of, the virus protocol to protect people. What I don't understand is, although that is backed by science, we have a similar situation with kids not being allowed to play sports, but that's also backed by science in the sense that there was a 99.8% success rate. So that's where politics comes into play for me, because you got to figure these kids' minds are warped right now. You've been sitting since, September? We've been, doing the in-person. No, we're not doing in-person. We're doing online and it's virtual. That's tough for kids to not have that person-to-person interaction. But then when you take away sports, you're having kids not only in Michigan but across the country literally decide to end their lives because that's their love. I feel like if they can do it in college, they could do it in the pros. Why can't we do it on a local level?
That is the mental health aspect of it. And Joik, you've talked many times about how it gave you an opportunity to stay out of some bad stuff and to stay off the streets, so to speak.
It did. And you know what? I'm dealing with it firsthand right now with my son, trying out for the boys basketball team. With the first trial was supposed to be back in December. All right, and it got pushed from December 18th to December 22nd, from December 22nd to December 28th, from that until coming into 2021. They didn't have their first practice until probably around the 18th of this month, and it was just drills. And so there's no clear evaluation on the players, and so you have to kind of sit back and just wait to see what happens, because the coaches, you can't get mad at the coaches because the coaches don't really know what's going on and they have to follow protocol, all right? Or they can lose their job. So it's a lot of different things that's going on. And
by the way, COVID is real. Don't think for a second. I'm just going to speak for me. COVID is very real. I am not a COVID denier. Don't go all or nothing on me. COVID is very real. COVID is scary. Both things can coexist. You can have a successful high school playing season and accept that COVID is real. And do you know how I can say that? The MHSAA did. Past tense. They did. They nailed it.
And Lynn brings up something that is very, very important that I'm a true advocate on, is these kids and their mental health. It's horrible right now.
1,000.
I mean,
1,000%.
a year of it. A year of this going on. Kids, you have kids who have not been in school their entire senior year. All right? Like, my son hasn't been back to school this entire school year. My nephew missed his whole second half of his the whole third quarter of his senior year. And then you have some kids that were trying to move back into the school system so they can at least be in school the last quarter of their senior year. A lot of the kids are missing out on those memories, that experience, from the prom to homecoming to all these different things, spring dance. They're going to miss out on all of that. And
crying shame.
Crying shame.
Really is.
Yeah.
Art, do you want me to do this read here?
That would be great.
Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Now think about it. How often do you have to call about your heater or your air conditioning?
Well, you sound so energetic.
Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. You know why I am? Because at the I don't have my elbow on right now. Fish is yelling at me. I look at
Officer
Am I
Fish.
not allowed to put my hands on there now?
Come on, shrimp.
Holy shit.
Come on, shrimp.
So listen, shrimp. Listen, Joy, you know why I'm passionate about that? Like at the height of summer last night, one of the air conditioners went out at my house and it blew. And those dudes came out and fixed it like that. So you can become one of those dudes that come out and fix it. Make sure you check out northwesterntech.edu. Scott Bischoff in the house. He's going to talk to us. We'll get his take on the deal and why picks in 2022 might be looked at much differently than picks in 2021. I'll let him explain it. Don't go anywhere. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Well, look who joined us. I don't know if he hates chairs, but
Yes.
I'm Sean Baligian, and I hate chairs. Glad you could join us here on Woodward Sports. Joik Bell, Sean Baligian, Scott Bischoff. Hi, Scott.
Hi. Has he been a little crabby today?
Little bit. Little crabby.
A little crabby.
A lot of crabby.
You said what's crabby?
Crabby.
Oh, crabby. Oh, okay.
I'm a little crabby about the chair.
Yeah, he is.
Have I mentioned that?
He okay. He'll be okay.
I'm okay.
He'll
I'll get
adjust.
over it.
You got to play through it.
I'll get over it.
You know, man. I mean, if a cheer is all the adversity that Sean is going through right now, well, you know, we're off to a good start.
I have a
Everybody
blessed
has their
life.
cross, right? I mean, it is what it is.
That's a good point. I have a blessed life. You're right.
Yeah.
If the chair is the least of my worries, thank you, Joik. I needed that.
You know,
A
I bet
motivational
all
Monday
out
moment,
there.
right?
You know
That
what's
would
funny?
be-
You
that'd
know
be
what's
a
funny?
spectacle.
I you know what? I'm not gonna say it.
No, say it.
It might be a little bit controversy, and so I won't
Okay,
say
then
it.
avoid it like the plague.
No, but
I think you should say it.
Okay,
I think you
it
should,
was
too.
it was a kid, and I saw this on the internet, and he said his mom was trying to feed him food, and he said, I don't want it. He said, you know, there's kids out here starving. And you won't eat your food. You know what he said? He said, well, if I eat this food, they're still gonna be starving.
See, you know where I thought you
kid.
were going with it?
Smart kid.
There are people doing shows right now that would love to have a chair, and I'd say they can have mine. That would be my response. I'll stand. I have no problem standing.
Yeah,
Every day until
it's not,
you set me free.
It's not, sometimes
Every
it's not
day.
about what you want; it's about what you need. And right now, you need that chair.
Wow. You ready to run through a wall after that motivational speech?
All right.
As your father probably told you.
Scott Bischoff, how are you?
Good.
Gut
I'm
reaction,
well.
first reaction on this deal and the buzz that's out there about this Matthew Stafford picks and Jared Goff.
I am not understanding the hesitation behind what they got in return for him. I don't get it. And there's a lot of gnashing of the teeth happening over the picks they acquired in this deal.
I don't. It's a good haul, right? It could be a great haul. I mean, depending on how the Rams do, and I've already went on record saying I hope the Rams fall flat on their face, And
The NFL's an elevator, as you know.
No, don't steal my quotes.
elevator.
Come on now.
Up and down.
That's the NFL elevator, baby.
Yeah.
It's real.
Why are you taking Sean quotes?
That's kind of
Because
mean.
it was genius when he said it, and I figured I wanted to sound smart too.
Okay.
Did I sound smart
Let's
before
look.
you knew it was Sean's quote?
No. I
thank
knew
you.
it was
All
Sean.
right, don't
I knew it was
still
Sean.
take a chance with
But
Lance
he didn't
either.
say-
I'm
but he put
trademarking
a-
that.
He put a twist on it though. He said the
he did.
NFL. You said Detroit Lions. So he put a twist
The
on it.
NFL
I
elevator
like
is
it.
real. The Minnesota
Up and down.
Vikings are a member on the NFL elevator.
Yep.
Really?
There's a couple teams like that.
Yeah, few teams.
Yeah, a few
There are
teams.
groups. There are the usual suspects. There's the elevator team, and then there's shit.
Now, my question is, what makes the difference?
Can
Now-
we swear?
Now, what
Yeah.
makes the teams?
Okay.
Yeah. What makes the teams, right, that are consistently here? What's the difference between these teams and then the elevator teams? What are they doing different?
You answer, Scott. I know the
think
answer.
some of that's elite quarterback play, but
I mean, you look at
Starts with the quarterback. Always.
Always.
Starts with the quarterback.
I agree with that. Every franchise.
That's why drop the Jared Goff of franchise quarterback stuff. Knock it off.
Sean, there are 32 franchises in the NFL, and he is a starting quarterback at the NFL level, so he's a franchise quarterback. He's going to start for a franchise. He's
Yes,
a
he
franchise
is.
Quarterback.
He is
Right.
going to start for a franchise. That's true. That's
He's
true.
one of 32
Chase
dudes on the
Daniel once
planet.
started for. I'm joking. I kid. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, really, it's as simple as getting your quarterback and drafting and building around him, right?
Yeah, and getting consistent high-level quarterback play kind of is something that covers a lot of warts elsewhere. It just does. You can have, like, look at the Bears. The Bears have a pretty awesome pass rusher in Khalil Mack. And even when he's very effective, because their quarterback play is inconsistent, they're not very good.
Okay.
Right? So I think that's some of what – I mean, look at the teams that are successful right now. The Chiefs get pretty consistent quarterback play they have for a couple of years. Tampa Bay got pretty consistent quarterback play. I know they struggled a touch, but in the weeks where it mattered, Brady's been good. Brady's been good his entire career, pretty consistently good. So I mean, I think that's the difference. And there's not a lot of those teams. I mean, how many are there?
You're
that
absolutely
are
right.
like just guys, teams that with quarterbacks who put them in contention year in and year
Ben
out.
Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, just
Even Aaron Rodgers is not that guy anymore. I mean, he was this year, but
they're usual suspects.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
when they falter, it's usually when that quarterback is dinged up. I
Yep.
mean, we
And
saw that
inconsistent.
with the Packers.
Who?
Rodgers.
No, when Rodgers was dinged up and the Packers took a couple steps back a couple of years.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
he
saying.
was awesome this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. But when he's hurt or when he's inconsistent, not playing great, they're not winning. They're not. I mean,
That's
they're not
true.
in contention to.
He
to win
is
big
the
games.
yes, he is the glue to that team. And
Yeah.
we talked about this before when we played them in the Thanksgiving game. It was at 2014 when we ran it up on him because he was out. And I remember it was the best feeling in the world as a player, going back and watching that game. Seeing him on the sideline sitting next to the quarterback that was starting that game, and they were just sitting there not even looking at each other, just watching the game. And that's the best feeling in the world as a Detroit Lion player playing against the Packers when they're just on the sideline, not talking, not even looking at each other. and
It was
just
a pretty cool
watching the
feeling
game.
being a fan and watching that.
Oh yeah.
Looking at Aaron Rodgers, and
we
knowing
almost
there's
had
nothing he
200
could
yard
do.
rushes that game.
You and I were both at that game. Do you remember that? I actually, Jack and I went and said hello to you. I remember that plain as day. Do you remember that?
No,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. I have a weird memory. So, yeah, my son and I were. That was the day that I told you, Joik. It was back then when I was doing both the TV and the radio thing. It was like there was always one game a year where I said, "I'm dad today. Leave me alone. I'm not doing anything." So that was. I was like, I'm taking my boy to the
I have no
Thanksgiving Day
recall
game.
of that.
That's okay.
I'm not saying
That's
it didn't
all right.
happen. Just it was, no, it
I
was-
have the ticket.
It's always nice to watch Rodgers on the bench, not able to.
I save tickets. I'm that guy. I've saved tickets like my whole life. It's that, Scott. I
Yeah.
have those stupid things. All right, so part of the reason I wanted to talk to you, and I've been teasing this, and I want to give you full credit because I think it's good logic, is you thought there was a reason that the Lions thought about 2022 and 2023, and I think your logic behind it's awesome. And I want to give you full credit for this because this is, to me, this is playing. Joik brought this reference up earlier. This is playing chess now. This is trying to think a move or two ahead. And the Lions have all but come out and said 2 or 3 years from now. Okay, that's what we're looking at right now. But your logic behind why 2022 drafts might be more valuable than, say, a 2021 draft.
COVID.
Think about it.
That's it. There's not going to be
Think
a
about
combine. This year, the draft picks taken in 2021, and yes, there's going to be 32 first-round picks, but the volatility associated with the unknowns, with all of it, makes them, I don't want to say less intriguing, but they're lesser in value, I think, and there's more up in the air than there is in a normal season.
Because of the unknown.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest parts of the reason why you take a player early in round one is because you really like them as a person. You know, you've done a lot of work on them, on their character, their background, all that stuff. We're not going to be, I don't think the NFL is going to function in a normal way this year, and there's so much volatility associated with 2021 picks that some teams are just kind of pushing away from the table a little bit and determining that we want to be back in the market when things are normal, when our scouts can go into a locker room, into a college locker room, and talk to the weight room attendant to see how a player treats them, because that's something they do. Like, is this guy nice to you? Is this a difficult person to be around?
I love it because, and Joik, think about it, your process, okay?
It's like
they don't have the opportunity to prod you, to question you, to watch a full 11 or 12 games tape. And it's like, when you told me that, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, there's some
really,
guys who
I mean,
just
it's
haven't
like
played this year.
Yeah, they're exactly.
Yeah. So I want to explain this. So basically it's going to be just like getting recruited from high school to college. That's the type of process that they get to do on the college level to the NFL, where they want to know what type of guy you are off the field, because in high school they're going to have you for the next 4 years of your life, and they want to know who's going to be in their locker room. Similar to the NFL, you're going to be on this team for a 3 to 5 year contract. So we want to know who we're going to have in our locker room. Does he have integrity? Is he a hard worker? And then it gets to a point to where they'll ask you all the questions they want to ask you, and then they'll go around and they'll start asking people that you don't even know that they're asking. It might be a janitor at your school.
Mm-hmm.
How's this guy? How does he treat you? All right. Or go to a teacher.
What does he do with his towel when he's done with it?
Yeah.
Just throw it on the floor?
Throw it on the floor. Do we put it in the hamper? Like it's small things that they're looking at your character at this point, right? Is he treating the janitors and the waiter or the waitress with the same respect he treats his mother or his grandparents or a coach? So I mean, all this stuff is important, right? And people don't really get that. They don't get it. I tried to spill this in the head of, say, my nephew. I said, they'll go to your social media. They want to know what you're posting. What is he doing? And even if you have like a second account, they're going to find out you have that second account, and they're going to create a dummy page to go to that second account to see what you're posting on that account, because that's the real you.
They're going to interact with you too.
Do you have dummy accounts?
No.
Okay.
But I know.
You have a dummy account? No?
No, I'm saying that Joik definitely does. He's got a Finstagram. I guarantee you he's got a Finstagram.
Yeah. Everybody, you know what though? You have guys, but I know guys who have burner accounts, and I know younger guys who have like 2 accounts, actually 2 or 3 accounts, and they think like that the owners, like, they're about to pay you millions of dollars over the next 2 to 3 years. You think they're not going to look and take a deep dive into their investment lives?
I know 2 professional athletes right off the top of my head, and there's no way I'm saying that, who they are. And then I know that there used to be guys, believe it or not, in the talk radio day that would call in and say that they were Art from Holly, and I knew damn well who it was who was calling in, but people don't know their voices. That stuff happened more times you could shake a stick at. You know of one, Scott. I'm not going to say any names, but
I do.
Yeah, you know of a couple.
Should he be a Hall of Fame goalie?
So anyway, there are situations.
Oops.
There are situations that arise like that.
I made that.
You know what? By the way, Mr. Bell's in the house. Officer Bell. Joik Bell Sr. says, "Good morning, everybody."
Hey, yeah, that's my dad.
Yep. Good
What up,
morning,
Pop?
officer. Much respect.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
You remember Fluellen.
Yeah.
Andre Fluellen.
Andre Fluellen.
He texted me last week. He was going through his uncle old stuff. And he came up, his uncle was a boxer. He came up to this tournament. He had his uncle name in it, and it had my name in it. He said, Drake Bell. He said, there's only one Drake Bell I know of. And he took a picture of it, sent it over to me. He said, is this your dad? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. He said, oh, I didn't know your dad was a boxer. I said, oh yeah, he was big in boxing. Like he was huge. And I said, what tournament was this? He said, I don't know. He said, but my uncle said he think he won. I sent the picture to my dad. My dad said, was that tournament in Michigan? I said, yeah, it was in Michigan. He said, oh, I probably won that one. I didn't lose in the tournaments in Michigan. and so Andres sent the he took a screenshot of our messages, sent it to his uncle, said, yeah, Drake Bell said he wants a rematch.
Oh, boy.
He wants a rematch.
That's great.
And we'll see what happens. It'll be like watching the Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fight.
Scott said,
two uncles in there fighting.
Scott said too many guys in this year's draft sat out the year, so no tape on them from last year. And he added, you can tell a lot about a person by the way he treats someone who can do nothing for them. Those are a lot of variables, and what Joik spoke on, Scott, that I don't think the average person understands go into, poking and prodding a potential investment, because that's what it is. You're making an investment.
Yeah, and even something like the combine, and you can speak to this.
Yeah,
to me, that is set up to piss you guys off. The process that it takes. I mean, how long were you at the hospital, waiting for your medical stuff? Just waiting, and then it's things start early, 6, 7 in the morning.
No, you know what they did to piss me off. They made us take the Winter League test. I took the test at the Senior Bowl. So if you go to the Senior Bowl, they allow you to take some tests so that you don't have to take them when you get to the combine. So I took a 2.5, 3 hour test at the Senior Bowl. Got to the combine. You know what they did? Oh, we lost it again. We lost it. We need you to take it again. I said, no, I'm not. I've already taken it. Oh no, but we lost. We need you to take it again. No, I'm not taking it. Oh, but you have to take it. And so I ended up taking it. And I was like, you know what? They did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. They did it on purpose.
Yeah, they're putting you in a situation where they want to stress you out. You start 6 o'clock in the morning. You're meeting with teams.
It's not built for you to be
You're not done
success.
till 11 at night or midnight, and it's just such a stressful environment.
And so I went to a smaller school.
It's not happening this year.
So I went to a smaller school. You know what happened?
Where'd you go, by the way?
I went to Wayne State University.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The biggest Division II school in the country, I might add.
That's funny.
So people don't
I have familiarity.
Yeah, you do?
I do.
Right. And so
oh, boy.
I had one interview the entire time. You know who that interview was with? The Patriots. You know the first thing that called me after the draft? The Patriots. And who offered me the most money after the draft? The Patriots. They always knew they wanted me, but we can get him out the draft. Nobody else is gonna. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about him at all. Well, but we do want him. We're not hearing any chatter about this Drake Bell kid, so we're gonna grab him after the draft. And after the draft, they called me, told my family I was going to New England. I told them give me I said give me 5 minutes to talk to my agent. I talked to Coach Belichick on the phone. I go out to the family room. I tell my family I'm going to New England, and guess what happened? I look in the back of the house. My agent's on the phone. He's doing like this. And in my head, I'm like, what does that mean? I don't, like, are they sending the contract over? Like, what's going on? 10 minutes go by. They're not answering the phone. I call them. They pick up the phone. I tell them, like, listen, hey, this is Drake Bell. Can you send over the contract? Oh, we thought you went with another team, so we gave your contract to another running back.
What a crock of poop.
I had my phone in my hand, and I threw it against the wall. Broke my phone. I said, I'm leaving. I'm gone. Timmy, I was in Ben Harbor. I was driving back to Detroit. I said, my mom grabbed me and said, no, you can't go. You can't leave. So the family's here. And my agent said, no, you can't leave yet because another team might call. The next team who called was the Buffalo Bills. And people didn't know why I was going there because they had Marshawn Lynch, Fred Jackson, and C.J. Spiller in the first round. And the first thing they said, why would he go there? And then, Sean, what I tell you earlier about the chairs is not always what you want, it's what you need. And I needed to go to the Bills. I had to go to the Bills. Fred Jackson, Marshawn Lynch gets hurt the first series of the first game of the preseason. So it's me, C.J. Spiller, Chad Simpson. I was able to showcase my talent, and I was able to get more looks. And so it ended up working out in the long run. And when I looked up, Patriots had about 12 running backs on the roster.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so that year. And so it worked out. And so it wasn't what I wanted, but it was what I needed. So it worked out for me. Look at that.
There was going to be a chair joke, but I'm going to drop it. I'm just going to say I hate chairs. That's all. So you know what, Scott?
So we can get into the nuts and bolts of why I think this makes a lot of sense.
I do, because it's I'm going to say again, you weren't here when I said this, okay? I wish Matthew Stafford health and happiness, and I hope they go 0-16 2 years in a row.
That'd be great.
That's my sincere, fondest wish that 20 years from now, when people are talking about the worst team in National Football League history, they're not talking about the Cleveland Browns, they're not talking about the Detroit Lions, they're talking about that 2-year span where the Rams didn't win a game. That's what I want. I want
Sean
that.
wants the Rams to go 0-16, and he wants the Lions to go 0-16 the next 2 years before we have the number 1 and number 2 pick. 2 years in a row. That's what he wants.
The reality is,
he doesn't want to see any growth.
We have to talk in reality.
No growth, Scott.
I hear you.
He doesn't want to see any growth.
We can't talk about injury. We can't talk about what if this happens, or what if an asteroid is fired out of Art's butt and destroys a facility. We can't. The logical approach to this is a good team just got an upgrade at quarterback, so therefore, to wit, that good team is probably a better team now. Fair enough to say that?
On paper, sure. On paper. But, like we said, the Lions are making the calculation that picks, not this year, but in future years, are more valuable than they are this year. Now, I would argue that that's not always the case. But if you were going to get one pick this year, let's say that pick is worth $1. And what is a pick in 2022 worth? 85 cents? Maybe? Probably more because of the COVID issue, right? And then you have one in 2023. What's that one worth? 80 cents? 75 cents?
Sure. Let's say 75.
You have more than $1 with those two picks?
You got it.
Okay. So some of this is there's some immediacy that's happening with I want to know where they're picking. I want to know, right? I need to know that they're picking 7th overall. And they got Washington's first-round pick. That's 19th overall. And they got Washington's second-round pick, which is like 51st overall. I have to know the numbers that they're picking this year. Well, the picks this year are not going to be as valuable as they normally are. So there's that component of it, where the Lions have just kind of pushed away from the table and on having a bunch this year. They still have the 7th pick. I don't think they're going to use those assets to go get a quarterback. But here's the point: is normally a team is in a go acquire a quarterback window one time. They are. Are the Lions in an acquire a window situation right now?
Yes, but the window's wide open. So would you agree with me?
Yes, they just acquired a quarterback. Mm-hmm. There's some unknown there, right? Yes, there is. There is.
I'm joking.
There is. But they're also in a situation where if they want to use the assets they acquired, they can trade up this year to go get a quarterback. They also can do that in 2022. They also can do that in 2023. They have multiple years, multiple kicks at the can at that position. Most teams, they have one window to go get quarterback. This is the year we got to go get quarterback. They are wide open. There's nothing that's blocked for them.
I thought of you when he said that. That's why when you said they do, I smiled at you because you've talked often about, Scott, I don't know if you've heard him say this. He's talked often about how those guys knew circa 2013 that their window was open this much.
Yeah.
They knew, okay? Mm-hmm. And if they didn't dive through that window might not be open a couple years down the line, and we saw that reality. To me, the window for the Lions then was this.
Sure.
Right now, the window is this.
Yeah. But
that's not a bad thing.
This is also very volatile.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's, I think, the issue is there's going to be some consternation about whether you like what they got or not. And would you have preferred Carolina's first rounder and their 5th rounder? And some people are going to, like I said, they're going to like the immediacy of knowing they had pick 8 and pick 150, whatever. Some people are going to be okay waiting and with the unknown, knowing that they got the extra pick.
No, that's good logic.
So there's some of that. So you've got the COVID issue. You've got the multiple opportunities at a quarterback, and it doesn't pressure them to have to go get one right now. As much as I want them to give it all away Give it all away.
You don't have to.
And go get Zach Wilson at 2nd overall. They don't have to do that.
Here's what the Lions are saying right now, and this is not me being a hater. This is not any of that stuff, okay? The Lions are basically telling everybody out there right now, we aren't going to be good for 2 or 3 years. That's what's happening right now. I hope everybody accepts that. That's not me saying they should blow it up, even though they should.
But isn't that what we've wanted? Somebody to come in and be an adult and say, okay, the roof is leaking and the toilet doesn't flush and this house is a shithole. Sorry. Right?
No.
Let's recognize it for what it is and start to rebuild it.
Absolutely.
Instead of, hey, the roof is leaking, but let's replace windows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the previous regime was all about not recognizing what it is that they were.
Yeah,
so they have fully embraced that they are gonna suck.
I'm gonna tell you this: we don't need. We can take it to real estate for people that are real estate people like my mom. I know you're watching. Hey, mom. We need to completely demo this house and start from the ground up. Like, you know, we have how's our structure? How's our foundation? Is it okay?
Can I pull a few things out of the house first?
Huh?
I want to pull a few things.
Get the sentimental stuff.
Mr. Decker, Mr. Ragnow,
get your pictures out.
A couple pieces on the
take
defense.
Your pictures.
Get out of here.
Yeah, take your pictures out, and then let's rebuild. All right, let's rebuild. Right, and so you know, you're gonna get in the new walls, the new cabinets. It might need a new roof. Get some more shingles. Put a new roof on there. Now it's time to get to the painting.
Yep,
right?
the cosmetic stuff.
Let's get to the cosmetic. Now let's get to the painting. Let's get to the cabinets. And now the finishing touch is gonna be the floor.
Let's go.
Now what's the floor for us? Now what's the floor? What's the last piece we're gonna need? Because there's only one piece left on that team from that 2014-2015 season. There's only one piece still there.
The
it might be two.
Snapper?
2. It's the long snapper. It's 2. It's the long snapper and Prater.
Yeah.
Those are the last 2 from.
And both of them are kind of like Highlander. They're not going anywhere. They're immortal. Like I'm convinced that both of them can keep doing what they. I want.
The Stephen Davises of kickers
I
and long
want.
snappers?
I want Maz to put on a hard hat and jump on a bulldozer and go like literally
Wrecking
go
ball?
through. Nobody likes the idea of blowing it up. I get
But
that.
it needed to be
It
done.
had to be done. It's like the Detroit Tigers a few years ago.
It's a little bit
It
like
had to be done.
Red Wings are doing the exact same thing.
Yes, they are.
So this is
So
a
is
group
Troy
of people
Weaver.
who recognized fully we are not going to be good. Part of it is also that they're not going to be spending free agent money because they're not going to be winning. So there's when the opportunity presents itself to be a contending winning team, which is likely 2 to 3 years minimum away, they're going to have a ton of free agent cap.
Absolutely.
They're going to. So there's some of that
Isn't
too.
it beautiful?
So there's so many ways to look at this that are positive. It's just, we're in a bit of an unprecedented time with COVID and with what this draft is going to be is super volatile. Yeah, there's really good players in this draft, but there's a lot more unknown that's going to happen in this draft than there is in a normal year. Push away from the table. They still have multiple opportunities to do the things they want to do. If they want to go get a quarterback, if he's there and they can, go get him. He can sit for a year because Goff is going to play for them. That is not a bad scenario, right? But they're playing the long game. They really are, and it's everything that we've wanted from them. Just to recognize that, putting a coat of paint over this is just not going to. It's just doesn't.
No,
it's not
going to work.
So, and then there's a little bit of a Goff conversation that I think we should have about what he is as a player. And I'm not even going to look at you when I'm saying some of this stuff. Look at this.
I don't want to hear it.
Go
ahead.
Go
ahead.
Do we have time?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's great. No, actually, I think people need to hear this because it's like Scott. Let me start it off this way. I think people are looking too much at what was a monster year for Jared Goff, and it was when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And not remembering, okay, that A, he was figured out in that Super Bowl, and B, he hasn't been anywhere near the same quarterback for the last 2 years.
Was he I'm going to get close to the mic.
Okay, go ahead.
Was he figured out in the Super Bowl, or was the Rams scheme figured out in the Super Bowl?
I think both.
A little bit of both.
Would you agree with me?
So let's just go into the future a few years, and we find out that Sean McVay is a lot like Matt Patricia,
Joe Lombardi.
who refuses. He always wears the nicest pants.
Who is that?
Mr. Lombardi. And he always wanted Travis Swanson to block Everson Griffin.
And he was always the smartest guy in the room. He was just so smart.
Hey, you go ahead and snap the ball and go block that guy on an island. Cool. Good scheme. So, you distracted me.
I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
We're talking about Jared Goff.
Was that more so his fault
and
or
how
the
he
line
was
coach?
figured out. How he's figured out.
So, I think McVay's a lot like Patricia, where it's my scheme is so good that I really don't need to alter anything. It's so good. If he just does what I ask him to do, we're good. And offensive play is not nearly as good last year. It was a little better this year, but it was still not great. And this scheme has been figured out. It has. So if Stafford's going to work for them, they're going to have to do some different things. So McVay is viewed as this brilliant OC whose scheme is all that, but I'm not sure that's real fair. I'm not sure that's accurate.
They haven't been close to the same. They've been a good team, but they haven't been close to the same. And I think what you've seen is his numbers in particular go like that.
Yeah, and you've seen a group
Mark
of
Rippon when we were kids.
You've seen
you remember
a group
that?
Yes, you've seen them just bring guys in and just cast them out.
You know, it's
Brandon
funny.
Cooks, Marcus Peters. They're just not working for us.
I showed my age, but I'm going to talk to Maz because Maz is an NFC East guy. Do you remember that Redskins team in '91 back when
was that the fun bunch?
No, that was one of the best football teams I've ever seen. One year football team. That Mark Rippon, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be a superstar for the next decade. It's almost like Pat Summerall saying during the Lions-Cowboys game, I think we're looking at the two teams from the '90s. And the Lions didn't win another playoff game. But do you understand what I'm saying? This is a situation. This is a situation where Mark Rippon looked like he was going to be a superstar, and shortly thereafter we found out, okay, everything kind of came together. It was the right scheme. It was the right pieces. And since then, he looked, well, like Jared Goff has looked.
Yeah. So I think there's an element that people need to back off on what Jared Goff looked like at times last year. They just do. I mean, is he a perfect quarterback?
No, he's not.
But is he?
He'll be good for the next. He'll be good for this Lions team. Point blank. Period. What we got for Matthew Stafford, I'm not against it. I love it. And
it's a good haul.
And hold on, it's a good haul. But I think we're getting too much into what I don't know where we're at. But I just know that what we got for Matthew Stafford, you're not going to get that anywhere else. Like they gave us 2 first-rounders. And what you made a great point about the COVID not being able to, and that's one perspective.
Jared Goff too.
And you got Jared Goff. You got a quarterback that's coming in, and if we do decide to take a quarterback, which I don't know if we're going to do that or not,
We don't
have to, but we have a guy that can help mold that quarterback. Something similar to like an Alex Smith and a Patrick Mahomes.
I'd love that. I have no problem.
Patrick Mahomes.
I told you my biggest complaint in all of this is the people that think, all right, if we can all agree that this is going to be a 2 or 3 year process, then in two,
I would tell you it might be a 1 year process.
That in 2 or 3 years, we're going to be where.
What's happening?
Jared Goff is going to be the quarterback for the next 10 years, like Matthew Stafford was.
No.
If that's not going to happen.
Super unrealistic.
That's not going to happen.
Super unrealistic.
You don't think that's going to happen?
Jared Goff is not going to be.
What's the point of us getting Jared Goff if that's not going to happen?
Oh, no.
What's going on? He's a franchise quarterback.
Listen to me. I will smash my head on this table, and then I will throw this chair out the window. Don't even start with me there.
Yeah, we'll take it out your paycheck.
All right. You want us to keep going? All right, we can keep going. Here, I was getting ready to take a break, but he wants to keep going. All right, all jokes aside, Scott, with the quarterback position, because, look, again, the Lions are going to need a quarterback in the future. All right, you and I talked about this guy a lot, and I've kind of coined the phrase, take a chance on Lance. And this is exactly what we're talking about.
So this is what we're doing. We're taking chances with our first round.
No, that's what I'm talking about. If
that's what you're saying.
But Joy, hold on.
We're taking chances.
If your scouts love the guy,
we gave him Matthew Stafford to take chances. That's what we're doing here.
How did that work? How did that work out for Kansas City? I'm being serious. People thought they were nuts taking If you don't believe me, ask him.
Yeah.
People thought they were nuts taking Patrick Mahomes, but they trusted their scouting system and they trusted that his skill set fit perfectly for. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm not advocating this, but you put yourself in a position now where if Joyke Bell, the chief scout of the Lions, walks into Holmes' room and goes, guys, okay, this kid's got it. This is a project. This is a project. We can sit him down for a year or two like Patrick Holmes, okay? They afford themselves that opportunity to do that. Now, I'm not saying do that, okay? I'm not. I hope everybody, but to me, now you have options. Does that make sense?
Why are you not? They should be doing that.
Okay.
They have to take every opportunity to try to find the next franchise quarterback, period. If one falls into their lap at 7, if Trey Lance falls to them at 7, and they have the opportunity to sit him for a season and let Goff play for a year, and hey, guess what? Goff has a dead cap number in 2 seasons of $15.5 million, and you would save around $10 million in salary cutting him. So it's going to cost you around $5.5 million to cut him 2 years from now. So he'd play 1 season for you. That's a move they should make all day long.
Yeah,
because you can offset that with the rookie deal with your quarterback. But Lance's upside is so good that they should be taking it. They should, and that's the problem. It is a chance. It is, but the upside's there. I mean, it is. It's upside. You're taking quarterbacks on upside. They all are getting taken on their upside.
Scott said Holmes was scouting director. I'm sure he has his notes. No question about it, and that's why I love Holmes. But just hold that phone. Just hold that thought for a second, okay? There's a big difference between a guy that is looking at somebody a few times, and let's say Scott Bischoff has been on this guy for a year. Because that's in essence how it happens. So what happens to Steve out there, and Scott, you can explain this, is Joyke will come in and, okay, let's make the case at number 7. Joyke will come in and say, listen, I love this kid out of Penn State. I've watched him more than anybody. I've been at every one of his games for a year. I'll come in and say, listen, I think you guys are missing the boat. I really like, pick somebody, anybody, okay? And that's where you rely on Scott, because Holmes is busy doing other things. Holmes is taking a closer look at other people, and this is where a scout has to stand up and go, guys, listen to me. I'm telling you right now, I've watched this kid for a year and a half. He is the real flipping deal. We have to, there are some things we have to work on. We have to plant some water, plant the seeds, and let him grow. But I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about. Of course he has his notes. Absolutely. But you got to trust me when I say that that's how it happens in the room.
So, I mean, that's exactly what Kansas City did. They took Mahomes when Alex Smith was their quarterback, and their offense was really vanilla with Smith as the quarterback. It just was, because he was limited as a passer, but he was very athletic as a runner. He really was. But you draft Mahomes on the upside of what he can be, and then you tailor an offense for him, right? That's the intelligence of what they've done. They didn't say, well, this is just our offense. This is the way Alex Smith made it work. So, Patrick, this is what you have to do.
But you know what it is, though? You know what that boils down to? It boils down to coaching. Knowing your talent, putting your players in a position to where they can be successful. And just to harp on what we talked about being the smartest guy in the room.
I don't mean to be disrespectful.
But you are. So as I was saying.
You too. I love
it. Forget it. But as I was saying, but they have to be able to tailor.
I had no idea my dad was here.
No, go ahead, Scott.
No, go.
No. But honestly, it's about not being the smartest guy in the room and being able. I talked to my mom this morning, and we actually talked about that. Having the right people around you, the right pieces, to be able to take counsel. Because I'm not going to know everything, and I think in order to be a good coach, you have to have the right people around you to kind of not be yes men, but kind of interject and say, hold up, what about we try it this way? And that's how we brainstorm it. So I think that's what we need here. That's what they've done over at Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, and that's what good coaches do just in general. So that's my take on it.
And you're 100% right. But if you don't have those guys in place, it doesn't matter who the pick is. It just doesn't matter. So whoever they take at 7, if you don't have a coaching staff that's going to put him in a position and play him at
Jared Davis, hi.
Sure.
What's up, Jared?
If you're not going to play him in a position or put him in a position to be successful, then it doesn't matter what the name is you call out.
I'm gonna tell you this. No, that's not always true. Sometimes you might have one of those players who grew up in a football family that had a father who played in the NFL, who taught you just about everything you needed to know. So when you get to the NFL, you know just as much, if not more, than the coaches, than the people that's coaching you. I'll give you a perfect example. Where am I going?
I don't know.
I'm going Peyton Manning.
Okay.
When I tell you, as a rookie, when I went to Indianapolis Colts, I had no clue who the offensive coordinator was.
Because it was Peyton Manning.
It was Peyton Manning. Sure. You know how I found out who the?
That's one.
Hey,
guy.
but you said it doesn't matter. And that's the type of guy Peyton was, right? So when Jim Bob Cooter came to Detroit Lions, and I asked him, I said, what was the hardest thing about being in the quarterback room with Peyton Manning? He said, because he holds you accountable. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we're about to play the defensive coordinator, and they ran a certain coverage, and I said he will never do this in this coverage. And so the very next day, he came into the room, and Peyton went back to when this defensive coordinator was coaching high school football that ran the same coverage, and he did what he said this quarterback, well, what this DC would never do. He said, go to the third quarter, go to play 14 in the third quarter, and tell me what he did. So he held him accountable. And so that.
Can you imagine dealing with that?
Yeah. And so that was the type of player Peyton Manning was. You know who I found out who the coordinator was? We were in film, and I was sitting next to another running back.
Marchibroda?
Listen, I was sitting next to another running back, and Peyton was going through the practice film, right? And the guy was, he had a guy, going back and forth, rewinding, fast forward. And Peyton was like, hey, Harrison, how did you like this? You want to cut this a little bit shorter? You think so? Harrison like, yeah, I think so. And Pierre, what you think about this? And Pierre like, oh yeah, I like that. He said, okay, go fast forward. And I said, man, who's the guy down there doing the handling the controller he said, oh, that's the offensive coordinator. I said, oh, that's the coordinator. That's who I found out who the coordinator was. I was like, oh, okay, I never knew.
How many Peyton Mannings are there in the NFL though? I mean, for every one of those guys, you've got somebody coming in who doesn't understand what they're being asked to do.
It's never been a guy I've ever played with my entire time in the NFL who had that much control of a team. I've never played with. I mean, I would see Peyton Manning coming to a special team meeting day before the game, and so this is like the final prep before and we'll walk in. Hey, coach, hold on a second. Hey, I need him, and him. Hey, get your stuff. Come with me. In the middle of the meeting, and the coach would have his hand up going over the play, and Peyton would come in. He said, all right, guys, you guys go. Yeah, you guys go with Peyton. All right, and he'll go right back like nothing happened. And I would just look like, wow, that's power. That's respect.
Listen, we're up against a break. Before we go to the break, I love what David said here. He said every team except Kansas City or Buffalo is looking for their next franchise quarterback. Yes, 1,000%. Yes. That's why if there aren't many of them, how important is it to get one of them? There are a lot of good quarterbacks in the league. There are backup quarterbacks. To make the National Football League, you have to be a good quarterback, even those backup quarterbacks, okay? The difference is when you get your Aaron Rodgers, your Josh Allen, your Patrick Mahomes, guys like that, 1,000%. Jared Goff ain't it. When we come back, we'll get more from Scott Bischoff. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. Let me throw this at you. Grow Green's Dank Deals program rolls on with deep discounts on the grow gear you're looking for. Crazy deals like the GH Flora Bloom 6 gallons for only $50. How about the Gavita Flex 750 systems for just $250 and Green Cleaner Quartz for only $49. Head to growgreen.com to score a dank deal today. Grow Green knows that your time is money and is best spent in the garden. That's why they offer Michigan $50 flat rate shipping, where they'll bring any size order anywhere in the state for just $50. Remember to mention Woodward Sports for a free shirt. Thank you, Grow Greens. Go check out their dank deals and push over a chair during the break.
Stand tall, Sean. Stand tall.
Fight the power. Down with chairs. It's saying it every day. Glad you could join us here. Glad Scott Bischoff can join us. Don't forget, he actually jumps on Wednesdays with us, but this was kind of like an emergency discussion today. Oh, it's Wednesday.
You're going to confuse me.
Oh, it is Thursday.
I have no idea.
See what chairs do to me? Do you guys see what chairs do to me?
I'll be here Wednesday.
No, yeah, he'll be here Thursday, and then we do a draft show. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's up on Woodward Sports. Steven's even throwing in the elbows. Thanks. Sean's feeling good today. Sean's rebelling today. Yes, I'm fight the power. I'm with PE.
You said Jared Goff was not good.
No. Jared, I said Jared Goff is not your franchise quarterback. If at the end of 3 years, okay, all the things that we just talked about.
Yeah.
If at the end of 3 years they've taken advantage of all those draft choices and they haven't picked a quote-unquote quarterback for the future, and they tell everybody for the next 3 years, we like what we've seen out of Jared Goff, we're moving forward with Jared Goff, I would take my thumbs.
Put them in your eyeballs?
I would put them in my eyeballs, and I would gouge out my eyeballs with my
Don't we think that's
own 2
really
fingers.
unrealistic?
I hope it is, but you know what I keep hearing from people? Give Jared Goff a chance. I'm giving him a chance to be a placeholder, and that's it.
He is a placeholder.
That's it.
But what are you basing that off of? Are you basing that off of his performance, or what are you basing that off
Yes, I'm basing that off of he had a wonderful, magical year 2 years ago, and since then he has been a very mediocre quarterback on a good team.
I feel like I need one of those flags to throw right now.
Yeah, you know what it is, though? Because I've never heard of a player leaving one team and going to another team and having success. I've never heard of that. So I guess you're right, Sean. I guess he can't come here and have any success.
Are you talking about the change of scenery
No,
thing?
I hate change of scenery. No, let's think about this, okay? Quarterback puts up mad numbers the last couple of years with a good team. Quarterback comes to a bad team, and he's going to be fine. I'm sorry, I don't buy that logic. I just don't buy that logic.
But the Lions' issues this year are not going to be caused because Jared Goff is underperforming.
Couldn't agree. I hope he stinks worse than he has the last 2 years. Stink.
Boy, you're in.
I want to watch the stink. I want to be able to see the stink.
Their issues are not going to be because of Jared
slow
Goff.
cook. I'm gonna be slow cook.
Like on my smoker.
Yeah, like on your smoker. Gonna be slow.
You do have the slow burn going.
Yeah,
right
come
now.
on over. What do you guys want me to make?
I can see us getting to the end of the season, and we're 2-10, and I can see Sean in the back room.
Okay, so can we go? I want to play doctor for just a minute.
You see it, Art? Art, do you see it too?
I definitely see it.
Do the shiny. Do the shiny real quick. Do the shiny.
The leprechaun? His dad's voice?
No. Do the shiny.
Jared.
Oh, jeez.
Light of my life. I don't want you to lose. Let me finish my sentence. I don't want you to lose. I want to see your brains get bashed in. Lose like you've never lost before. Go 2-14. Absolutely.
The look on Joyke's face when you do that is Joyke is both terrified and mesmerized.
It's like a car crash. Yes. You can't look away.
You can't look away.
You don't want to see it.
Yeah. It's like you see a naked guy running down the street. I'm not about to go out there and look at him, but I'm like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Like Sean, that one time you ran down the street, I was like, what is Sean doing?
Listen,
what is he doing?
Steve, if this happens, he said, when Goff takes the Lions to the Super Bowl, Sean is not invited. Listen, if that happens, I will run down the street naked.
Who said that,
I don't
Steve?
Steve, you out your mind?
He's got to put down whatever is happening there.
He said somebody pissing Sean Wheaties this morning. All right, Jen, I'll see you.
No, really, no.
But honestly, their issues are not going to be because of Jared Goff.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
So what's the issue?
He's not the quarterback of the future, and people saying, let's give him a chance, I think that's insane.
But there is no quarterback of the future right now. In order to find your quarterback of the future, Jared Goff had to be here.
Scott, that's my point. He's a placeholder. That's it.
We think.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, what is it going to shock you if the Lions do not draft a quarterback this year?
No.
And roll into this season thinking Jared Goff.
Oh, I'm
has
fully
fixed-
fully expecting
We're
that.
bringing in a quarterback that has more
Jared
playoff
Goff-
wins than all the Lions.
Jared Goff. Look at David.
In Lions history.
David comes in the party, asks me if I'm insane, and brings quarterback wins to the table.
Sorry, that's not a thing.
David,
So
honest
look
to
here.
God,
Hey,
that is the dumbest logic in the history of man.
No, it's not.
Joy,
No, it's not
who
the
would you rather
logic.
have, Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford? Death not an option. That's the dumbest argument in the history of mankind. And I'm tired
this is
of
what
people
I'm saying,
making it.
Sean. That's not the situation here. The situation here is we have Jared Goff. Now, for you to sit here and wish him ill.
No, I don't wish him ill.
I mean, you want him to have a bad career.
I want him to stink.
All right.
Yes,
so you
I
wish
do.
him ill.
No, I hope he's healthy while he stinks. I don't wish him ill.
I'm using
I
that
hope
as
he's
you know
healthy
what
while
I'm.
he
You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying. You know exactly what. And Sean, stop twisting my words. What I'm saying here is that this is who we have. So I'm going. That's our guy. So we're going with him. The same way. It's a sit back and wait. Now they're going to stink, but I pray to God they win at least 7 games, just so I can look you in your face and say, take that.
That'll
they could have,
that'll
like,
teach
the
me with the
14th pick?
18th pick. Boy, that'll teach me.
Yeah, they'll teach you.
Somebody is bringing up playoff wins. David, there's not one human being that agrees with you. You can call me insane all you want.
You know, not one?
There's not one human being.
There's
Not one person.
There's one.
There is. Wait a second. Matthew Stafford has how many playoff wins? Which quarterback would you rather have right now?
A guy that has Super Bowl wins?
No, playoff wins.
Playoff wins?
That's what he's saying.
How many playoff wins does Jared Goff have?
6.
How many does Matthew Stafford have?
None.
All right, then who you want to go with?
Matthew Stafford.
Okay, you might be right.
Yes.
But for
Matthew Stafford's a
right.
better quarterback than
But
Jared
for where
Goff.
the Lions are right now, I want Jared Goff.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that.
What I'm
right
saying
now,
is-
So what
telling
are we
you-
arguing about?
What's a better team?
The Rams or the Lions? Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
Who? Let me get this out. Let me get this out.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Dan.
what helped
Again, he
get the
did it
LA
again.
Rams? What helped get the LA Rams to the Super Bowl? Was it their offense or their defense?
the offense that year was unbelievable. Their offense was unbelievable that year. It really was.
Yeah.
That was an unbelievable offense 2 years ago.
Okay, so what was the drop off? Where was the drop off?
It's the
after
same
the Super
offense
Bowl.
that is run today.
Did it work then? Why is it not working now?
Because defenses haven't figured out a touch.
David, I'm going to say this to
They
you
do.
one time. I don't care who says it. Your opinion doesn't count. I'm serious when I say this. Your opinion doesn't count.
talking about Art?
No, David. If you honestly are telling me that Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford because he have playoff wins, you're a moron. You can call me insane. I'll call you a
Quarterback
moron.
wins is not a stat.
Quarterback
It's just
wins
not a
is not
thing.
a stat. Playoff wins count? Are you I'm not trying to be funny. What?
We have to start somewhere.
Is Eli
Playoff
Manning?
wins are good when we don't expect it. When we're rebuilding. If we have one playoff win this year, that we'll be happy with that.
I think you're smoking something.
No.
If you're thinking the Lions get a
I'm
playoff
not saying
win this
they
year.
are.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is if they were to win one playoff game this year, you'd be like, okay, that's progress. I mean, I'm happy with that because we didn't expect them to.
No, I
That's
agree with
not
you.
Right.
progress. That's a freaking miracle.
That's insanity. Absolutely. But no, I get your overall point.
That's-
because
that's what I'm saying.
We've gone back and forth about this, Scott, about Coach Caldwell. Coach
There we
Caldwell.
go.
No, there
The
was
Coach
no
Caldwell.
there was no
I
progression.
got to put my cards on the table on that.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I thought Coach Caldwell was way too conservative at times, but I had no idea how bad it could be. I had no idea how bad it could be with the previous coach, to where I would have been happy if they would have hired Caldwell after Patricia left, because at least you knew you were getting a competent coach whose players would play for him.
I think that's fair.
Does that make sense?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I think that's
Where
fair.
I would crush him.
I think
'Cause the
that-
whole we're up 3 points in the
I
third
think
quarter.
that's
Let's
fair.
run it.
I
Drove me nuts.
David, this is
Hey,
I'm not.
we up 3 in the fourth quarter. Hey, give me the ball.
Listen, I'm not being funny. This is the dumbest argument I've ever seen.
You're a running back. Of course you feel
David
that way.
said Matt never took us in anywhere in 12 years, dude. You're right. He didn't. But what you're saying is Jared Goff is better because he had playoff wins on a better team. Like, just take a step back and think about that. There's not one human being that would say that Jared Goff is better than Matthew Stafford. Not one. Did Matthew Stafford have to go? Absolutely. No question about it, he had to go. But playoff wins is not a stat.
Now,
it's moronic.
The Lions,
knock it off.
The group of decision makers down there decided that they needed a quarterback coming back in return, moving Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
It is obvious at looking at the offers that were made.
No
Carolina,
question about it.
I think you're getting Teddy Bridgewater back in that deal. Right? I mean, you want Bridgewater or Goff?
Mm-hmm.
Even for a year. You know what I mean? Like, Bridgewater is what he is. Goff at least has something that you could say, is it completely out of the realm for Goff to play at a level that you don't see because it is a new environment? I know it's change of scenery stuff, but we have to recognize that Goff does have talent. There's a reason why he got picked first overall. There's also and the reason why we have to recognize it is because the decision makers who made Goff the first overall pick, 2 of them are in the Lions building.
Mm-hmm.
They just went out and got him
Mm-hmm.
for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So to dismiss the idea that Goff is not in their future plans is going a little too far.
Well, then I lost all respect for them if their long-term plan, when they're good in 2 or 3 years, is to say Jared Goff is our quarterback. I lost all respect for them.
I'm not saying that.
It better not be.
That's not what we're saying.
It better not be.
You know what? You know what though?
Better
If
not
Sean
be.
gets in this little world, he gets in this corner where things doesn't go his way. You know, he falls out like my 3-year-old daughter. He throws his temper tantrum, and I gotta sit him down. We gotta have that tough talk. Sean,
Listen,
this is not.
Joik is like,
words,
no, you know what
use
Joik
your
is?
words.
Joik is like my son that when I explain something to him, he doesn't listen and he hears whatever the fuck he wants to hear.
Yeah.
So that's where it's at right now.
Is that how you talk to your son?
Yes, that's exactly how I talk to my son.
Is that how you talk to him?
He knows I'm serious when I drop the F-bomb. That's when he knows it's time to stand up and say, the adults are talking, so I better sit down and listen.
You know what? You know when it's time to do that same thing you just did. You stand up tall, and when Fitz stands in the background, up, Sean, up, Sean.
Yes, absolutely. David, I did miss my meds because anybody who brings up playoff wins as a barometer is a moron. M-O-R-O-N. You're a moron. It is not a real stat. Like, knock it off. What does playoff stats have to do with his playoff wins have to do with anything? There's not a human being on God's green earth that would say, okay?
I think he's trolling you.
He has playoff wins, so therefore he's better than Matthew Stafford.
That's silly. But let's talk about the Goff thing. I think we do have to recognize that these guys might think that Goff could be an answer for them. I'm not saying that they're sold, cemented.
No,
it's
that's
done.
not what they're doing.
Thank you, Joy.
That's not what they're saying. That's not what they're doing.
But
they're bringing in a quarterback because they know in order to build this franchise, they're going to need a quarterback to put some pieces together. And he's a great quarterback to a placeholder. But he's a good quarterback in NFL. He's a franchise quarterback because he's starting for a franchise.
But we can't dismiss the concept that these guys think that Goff could. Now, when I say could, I mean, is there a chance? Could he be their guy long term? There is a chance that he could be. I don't think it's a good chance, and I don't think it's something they should prepare for. In fact, I would say that you need to be drafting a quarterback this year. The next guy this year. Let him sit, right? Because, it doesn't always work the first time. And we mentioned it. It's one of the first things we talked about. What takes a team from here to being on top and staying on top for a long time? Really good, consistent, high-level quarterback play. And the only way you can do that is to draft high-level quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you might have to take one this year, and maybe he doesn't work, and you might have to take another one in 3 years, and it might look like a failure. But the only way to get it going in the right direction, the only way to fix it, is to find the next guy. Now, I'm not saying that it's Goff, but we have to keep the window open that it could be. There's a reason why he went first overall. They liked him enough to take him there.
And there's also a reason why they traded him after signing him to a massive contract and gave up 2 first-round picks with it.
So do you think they gave him up just because they were done with him? He couldn't provide anymore. They didn't want to take a chance with him, or is because his ordeal with with the head coach.
Uh-huh.
Was
Yeah,
it, you think it was the comments
we'll
about
get
him?
into that when
McVay
we come
stuff.
back.
Yeah, we're going to say when we come back.
David, in fairness, now I want you, he says that I'm twisting words, and you're the one that said he has playoff wins and Stafford doesn't, and he didn't win crap here. Then explain to me what playoff wins has anything to do with this conversation. And if it didn't, why would you point out the Lions never won anything with Stafford? Doesn't make sense. That's what people do when they're caught. We'll come back and get into that when we come back.
Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Gee, are you not wearing socks?
All right, welcome back. David says it has everything to do with this conversation. David, I need to bring this up to you then. If playoff wins count, and you're saying that Jared Goff's playoff wins count, and then you're detracting from Matthew Stafford because they didn't win anything, I'm telling you that is a moronic argument. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
Are you being
period?
You're being
That's not the
catfished.
argument here. That's not
Joey,
the argument.
we can't
here.
see you. You have to sit up.
That's not the argument here. All right, watch your mouth.
You have to sit up.
That's not the argument
Then I'm not
here.
gonna put the
Then why
camera
are
on you.
playoff wins being brought up? Explain to me. I need some help. Why are playoff wins? And because he has playoff wins, he should be our quarterback of the future.
I think
none of that makes sense.
This is a person who does not like Matt Stafford as a player.
And that's
period.
fine. I get that.
Just embrace it.
But with that being said, okay, again, for him to say that I'm insane for saying Matthew Stafford is better than Jared Goff is and then say, but I didn't say that
What
because
makes him better?
What makes Matthew Stafford better than
asking.
Jared Goff?
I mean, yeah, because we're not giving the opinion.
His arm,
talent?
his
Okay.
overall ability, everything makes him better than Jared. He's a better quarterback. I mean,
In your mind, where is Jared Goff in the? So let's say you have 10 really good quarterbacks, and then there are 10 middling quarterbacks, and then there are 10 quarterbacks who you'd say, we really need to upgrade there. Where is Goff in your mind in that trio of whatever?
I think he is. I'm going to say this again. I think he's a good placeholder until the man gets here.
Would you say he's quarterback 15 in the NFL?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
He's in that range.
I wouldn't go that high.
Okay.
I'd go
That's
closer to
fine.
20.
Okay,
I'd go closer
fine.
to 20.
But he's in that middle tier where is he good enough that he's not the issue? Yeah.
Oh, I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, he's
Matt
been,
Stafford
he's
was
been
so
mad the last
good.
couple of years.
Now, I think I have a little bit of I have more appreciation for Stafford than a lot of people I know. I think Stafford was so good that he took this team for the last 12 years and what it's been and put them in a situation where they were in purgatory every year because of how good he was. Look at it. 2 years ago, they were 3-4-1 with him at the halfway mark, and he was playing at an MVP level. He was.
He really
By
was.
all objective measures, he was. And he gets
really
hurt,
was.
and
Yeah.
they finished the season 0-8. So Stafford is that good that he took this group and all of the change and everything that's gone on here and made them,
Well, this is why I hate this argument, and I want you to know I'm
Why
not
do you hate
making
this
this argument. No, this argument that I'm about. Do you know what people are apt to say? What might have Stafford done with that Rams team 2 years ago? And you know what the answer to that is? I have no idea.
No clue.
And neither do you. That's what the answer is. And I hate arguments like that. What we are going to see is if Matthew Stafford goes to this Rams team that was pretty good last year, if he makes them better. We are going to see that. We are also going to see if Jared Goff can come to this Lions team and perhaps do any better for them.
Yeah.
But
He'll be
5-11 is the high watermark. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he'll be successful here, as long as he doesn't put out any more text messages. About
yeah,
the
he
Buffalo
needs
Wild.
to. So that whole thing's a weird thing. But just from his play on the field, what are his weapons going to be here? You have Quintez Cephas. He's signed. You have T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
He's signed.
He's signed.
You have Geronimo Allison, who opted out. He's signed. I think that's it. Tell me who his weapons are going to be.
Well,
are they going to franchise tag Kenny Galladay?
That'll be the best option. And then
See, you mentioned the whole house thing before. I think he's one of those guys that you
we
take
go-
out of the house and you auction it off. That's a way to get assets.
that's the way we can get assets, but is that what we want to do with a guy like him, of that caliber? Who else is out there?
I don't know who's out there, but
Yeah,
if you're
it's-
telling me they're not winning for 3 or 4 seasons, he's 27 or 28 years
Was it
old.
the offense's fault?
The last couple
Going
of years
forward?
with the
Going
last
forward,
couple.
yeah. I don't expect much.
No, they don't have much on the offense. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. So why would you get rid of Galladay? Is what I'm saying.
Because he's going to produce for you in a situation where you
I
don't
mean,
need the
we go.
production.
This is what we go.
I
in
think
the
they're going to
draft.
franchise him personally.
I think that's what
do.
they're going to do. I think they're going to
they're gonna
franchise.
franchise.
And then if you want another playmaker, do we go get Waddle?
Please.
Do we
You
go
could.
get him
You could.
in the first round?
You don't have to take it. This is the flexibility that Jared Goff brings. And this
Exactly.
This is. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
You
I
know
don't
what
have
you-
any problem with that. None. Zero.
Okay.
When they get the guy, you go like this to Jared Goff.
Oh, absolutely. See ya.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm saying that
And-
they can cut him in 2 seasons. He can play for them for 1 season.
And okay,
and they have the
so
opportunity.
now
to
do you
cut
do you
him.
understand what I'm saying? Okay, now the three of us are on the same page, right? But there are people out there, and Scott, you know, I've had to deal with them all weekend. Why? He's got a bunch of playoff wins.
Yeah, and then we
What?
You know, I mean, I think what we do, what we did with Jared Goff in the trade, I think one of the biggest things that people are not really talking about is that we saved $14 million in the salary cap. Now we're still responsible for paying him $19 million, but overall we're saving $14 million in the salary cap, which we can go out and get more caliber players.
Yeah, but you're
more
paying
enticing.
Goff too. So
Yeah.
in the quarterback room, there's a lot more. There's way too much money in the quarterback room this year and a little bit next year.
Yeah.
So I think it's just one of the things that they're going to be forced from a roster standpoint to not be able to spend money on free agency at all. They're just not going to be able to bring in free agents. They're not going to be improving upon what's there through free agency. They're not. They don't have the money to do it.
They can do it, but they have to just be creative with it. They're gonna have to be creative.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
always
but
a way.
You're already the cap is a kind of a figment sort of thing. It's a non-existent thing. You need to be what is it? You need to be compliant 2 days in a year, right? I mean, it's like you can circumvent the cap. You can get around it, but there's no reason that the Lions should be doing anything like that because they're not going to be.
They're not going to be in a position to do that.
They're
yet.
just not.
Yeah,
But
so-
when the window opens for them to be competitive and to win in 2 years, 3 years, there is so much money to spend. That's when you bring the finishes in. You've already got a quarterback. You've got receivers. Okay, let's go get a pass rusher, right? Let's go get an aging corner who can play for us at a high level for a couple years and put us over the top. Those kind of moves. Those are the things that they're going to be able to do in a few years. But right now, it is. I mean, I just think they're gonna be what they are. We kind of know what they're gonna be. We should expect. So it's the whole. There's a formula. E minus R equals D, and the expectations minus reality is disappointment. The reality is the Lions are going to suck.
Scott,
they should lose a
And that's
lot
fine.
of games.
I have a question for you, Scott.
Good.
Yeah.
Speaking, we're talking about pass rushers. Now we had a pass rusher who played for both the Lions and the Rams, and he's going to the Super Bowl this year in the Dominican Sue. Who do you think have this game? Who do you have? Do you want to see? Because this would be Sue's second Super Bowl. Would you like to see him walk away with one? You think they're capable of walking away with one?
Oh yeah. I think they could win this game. There's no reason to think that they can't. I mean, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them. He's a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really is, and he's a game changer. At least he was at one point. Vita Vea inside with him. I don't think Kansas City's going to run the ball effectively on those guys. This is going to be a game determined by quarterback play. It just is. Can Sue generate some pressure and make things difficult for Mahomes?
For sure.
Yeah, but Mahomes is at his best when somebody on the interior forces him to get outside the structure of the play and make something happen. I almost don't want him. If I'm Tampa, I almost don't want that. Why would you ask this guy who can make magic out of nothing? Why would you be asking him to go make magic out of nothing? Try to contain him.
I want to read this.
Does it make sense?
David, just so, and again, I go back to the point. In my opinion, I think people just don't want to listen. David said, I love Stafford. Whole family has his jersey. Great heart, great talent, but he didn't win. Who's arguing with that? Who's arguing with that? He had to go. Period. I'm glad he went.
Yeah, the franchise has been
seriously,
in a bad place for a long time.
I'm glad he went. This is my quandary with you, my friend. What the hell did Jared Goff's and playoff WINZ have to do with anything? That means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. It was time for Matthew Stafford to go. You are 100% right there. But with a bad team, what do Jared Goff and his playoff wins have to do with the price of tea in China? And that's, I keep hearing people making these dumb arguments, and I'm like,
we'll see.
What does that have to do? Oh, wait, then
we'll see.
Then the impetus is on you. What does that have to do with anything right now?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything right now because we're on a bad team.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So
why is that being brought up?
Because you brought it up. Stafford didn't win here. But it was a bad team.
Actually, I didn't. He did.
No, what I'm saying is you brought it up to the point of saying that Stafford didn't win here, so he has to go and you agree with it. But Stafford was on a bad team.
For a long time.
For a long time. And now Jared's on a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Same situation.
So the expectation is they should lose. Right? The expectation is that they should lose, and the reality is they're going to lose.
This is what we're saying. We're saying that Jared Goff has playoff wins, which means he has experience. So it's not more so about the playoff win, it's about the experience. That's what they're saying.
Then you know what he should probably say experience as opposed to playoff wins. Just one man's thought.
Yeah.
Playoff wins have nothing to do with this situation.
So what do you want? What's your ultimate goal?
You know what I want?
Yeah.
I want him to be the quarterback for the next 2 years. I want them to draft their Patrick Mahomes, whether it be this year or next year, and I want them to say bye-bye once that crazy contract is over and the Lions to be good 3 years from now.
That is the most likely outcome.
That's what I want.
What's the ultimate goal, though, with the team? What's your
Super Bowls.
3 years?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. How do you get to the Super Bowl?
Stink for the next 2 or 3 years.
All right, and so once we stink for the next 2 or 3 years, what happens then?
Then you get a real quarterback in here.
Okay, and then what happens then?
Hopefully that you win a Super Bowl.
Okay, how do you win? What do you have to do to get to the Super Bowl? You know where I'm going with this. You're trying to go around it. You're trying to go around it, Sean.
No,
they have to build. They have to build.
After 2 to 3 years, when we get a quarterback in here that comes in after Jared, we molding, or to get to the Super Bowl, what do you have to do?
You have to win in the playoffs.
You have to win the play, and before you can win the playoffs, you have to do what? You have to win what?
In the regular season.
You have to win in the regular season.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So all of this matters. See, everybody wants to win the Super Bowl, but no one wants to go through the process. No one wants to go through the process.
Joy, you're not listening to me.
No, you're not listening to what you're saying.
Joy, let me repeat this to you again. Jack, I'm going to start calling you Jack, okay? Jack, my son. Jack, let me explain this so you can, and I want you to hear this. I want them to stink. I want them to build from there. Right. I want them to do exactly what the Cardinals and the Dolphins are doing, except, unlike your Caldwell career, 9-7 isn't going to be good enough. Okay. I want them to hit 9-7 and then go to 11-5 in a playoff win, and then go to 11-5 in 2 playoff wins, and then go to 11-5 in the Super Bowl. I understand, 1,000%. All jokes aside, you cannot snap your fingers and say 3 years from now the Lions are going to be Super Bowl ready. I get that. Right. All jokes aside, I really do. Right. I totally get that.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
but
and that's where the quarterback comes into play.
Yes, but they have to start with the foundational stuff now.
Agree.
Now,
that's
right
what we
now.
all agree. That's what we all agree on. All right, and I don't mind going through the process. I enjoy the process. The process is where the beauty lies. It's the journey. All right, to get there. All right, and once we're there, it's like, how do we get there? Kind of like I was talking about when Wayne State made it to the national championship game.
Sure.
See, I feel like what you're saying is so spot on and it is juxtaposed by what the previous group of decision makers did here. They wanted to skip the process. They wanted to avoid all the ugliness of we're not going to win games. We know we're not going to win games, and we're just going to embrace it. They wanted just to pretend that they came from a place where they won everything, so they just deserve to win here.
Scott, you hit it. It's like growing your locks out. You know, from day one. You're going to hit that ugly stage.
I don't know, man. I don't know how that goes.
Yeah. You're going to hit that ugly stage where you're going to want to cut them off. But no, you just got to go through the process, give it a year, and then all of a sudden, you can start getting them braided. You can start getting them designed. And now it don't look as ugly anymore.
You know what, Scott? I think you're right. David must be a troll because you can't be this stupid. So he must be a troll. David said, you just said you have to win in the playoffs, but now you say playoff wins don't matter. You can't be that dumb. You've got to be a troll. So now I know from this point in time not to pay any attention to you. In this context, playoff wins between Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford is dumb. You kind of just said they were, but now you're reversing course. So
this must be Sean's homeboy.
You're either a troll or you're very dumb. I just know now not to pay attention to you, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching.
Yeah, they homeboys. They'll talk after the
No,
show.
I don't know the guy, honestly.
So, but
anybody who uses playoff wins in an argument between two quarterbacks where one is vastly different is an idiot.
But listen, Linda. Linda, listen. You know, Jenna said, Linda, listen. Linda, listen.
It's true.
Listen, Linda.
Who would we want to be playing quarterback for them right now after Stafford gets traded? Who in a perfect world, who's the quarterback? Is it the money that's like? Is there an issue? Like,
no,
what's
it's you know what? In I told you I don't have any issue with him being a placeholder. None.
Is it the people putting expectations that he is the guy?
Yes, that bothers the
That's
heck
crazy.
out of me.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
It's crazy.
Well, unfortunately, we're hearing
It's
from
fine.
people
It's
like
just-
David that are bringing up those time-honored playoff win stats.
You hear it, guys? Hey, guys, man, we have so much stuff to talk about. We're going to leave you guys one more. Make sure you guys tap in tomorrow with the Bell of Baligian show. You have Sean, you have Scott, and you have myself, Drake Bell here. Tap in with us tomorrow. Gang.